Yo, hello everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of the Limitless podcast with yours truly, Larissa. I know I've been a bit all over the place, to be quite freaking honest with you all. The last 3 to 4 weeks have been so freaking much. And if you are like a frequent viewer of mine on my stream or anything else, or you even follow me on my Instagram, you would have known that I, by the end, besides like other things and personal things, but like by the end, it was just like a lot of things that were like connected to my girl puppy Luna, my little daughter. And, she's all right. Everything is good, all the good vibes. It was just, stressful, just a lot of things at once happening and stuff like that. And I just, it just took over me. I have to say it. But again, as something that I talked about the last episode, you just have to continue and you just have to pick yourself up. And that's where we are. So, in today's podcast, we are going to talk about a huge topic, which is da 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 fear. Um, fear is a really prominent thing in everybody's life, including mine. And, we all experience at least a tiny bit of fear every so often. And fear is a good thing because, if we get like chased by a serial killer, you're gonna start running, right? Or I'm having like the best examples always. It's almost like I'm like, oh, so if there was a duck and it was playing piano, and people are like, what are you talking about? But yeah, sorry, back to the topic. So, wow, that transfer of the situation confused my brain for a slight second. Or if like fear is something like with fear, if you're like all fearful of like not dropping into a hole or anything like that, fear like keeps us safe. It's supposed to at some level. But as we have evolved as humans and as we progressed in life, the problem is that fear has become a much, much bigger thing. It started to, like immobilize us and everything else. It has become a huge problem because in like day-to-day life it started to, like I said, or I have said because I stopped for a slight second, but it started to immobilize us. It started to keep us, down in our bubble. It has also kept us from going after our dreams and goals, or you know it kept us from going for things that we wanted the most in our lives, like for example love. Love can be scary, and fear is just gonna be like, ah bitch, just stay in your bubble, it's better. You're gonna get disappointed. But then it could have been the love of your life. Or if it's like, wow, I just keep thinking to myself, being like, wow, I just repeated so many things. But let's continue. It could be so many different things where fear kept us, like in quotations, at bay, which is not the best thing. Uh, Also, the interesting thing, what happens in the body when, for example, fear or stress or anger gets activated. Like for example, with anger, our body makes our brain legit dumber, and it makes our jaw stronger because it was supposed to, it's almost like activating certain things in certain parts of our body so we can, like, attack or whatever. That's, for example, with anger. But with fear, it, again, same thing, same system that happens in our body. Legit, it makes us dumber, like our brain dumber, but our legs stronger and faster so we can run as fast as we can. But when you think about it, it's like, wow, all of that on a day-to-day basis is totally not fucking gonna help me. It's not gonna give me anything, like not help me in any shape or form. Because when we start feeling stress, anger, fear, worries, or anything, our brain legit becomes dumber, and we a lot of times make really stupid decisions. Or we really just, we're in the moment of being stressed and we're like, oh my god, let's find a solution, and it could be just like making things worse or whatever it is, because legit our brain has become way more dumb in that moment. It's almost like it has, like, the our body has muted that part of us, and we cannot, think sober. That's why a lot of people say, listen, take 30 minutes or how much time ever you need to chill down, to make decisions or to see things or rethink things or redo things, because in that moment, like I said, we're so fucking dumb. I'm not calling anybody out or calling anybody dumb, but this is legit, you know physically what happens in the body, in that moment. And yeah, like, fear can be so debilitating. It can just, like, keep us from so many things, from achieving so many things, or just even trying new things. From my personal experience, one thing that has been scaring me for like a long time, and I was like, I did some thinking today. It has been, like, for example, like working in groups. It has like given me so much stress throughout the years, where I was like, oh no, I'd rather just work alone. Or the thought of, oh, I have to do this and provide a service for somebody, and I'm being paid for, and it's stressing me out that I would, like, let them down, or something wouldn't be right, or I couldn't fix it, or whatever it is. Or another thing is, like, working for somebody else, and just the stress of providing, doing things, making things happen, and just doing your best. And there's so many things that you can go on and on. It could be like, if you have a fear of, like, moving out and, like, moving into your own place. It could be switching jobs or getting a job. Anything could be stressful by this point, and stress you out. And it's completely fine in that sense. We all experience fear in so many ways. You know, Also, fear, like, connects to anxiety, which anxiety is pretty much fear about the future, about something that hasn't happened yet. And, like, fear in general, fear, it could be, like, also about the moment, also maybe about the future, but also about the past. It could be anything, but, like, anxiety is more like future based. But yeah, let's get back to the topic. It, like, fear has done so much damage to so many people, because people let fear take over their thoughts, their body, for so long that they just, they haven't done things they wanted. They haven't, went for things they wanted. They didn't make their dreams come true, or anything that they looked for, like, in their future and in the moment, which really sucks. It's when you just think about it, how many things it does to us, like how we let fear take control, basically over our bodies and our minds and our brains and everything. It's just legit. It's almost like that fucking, I don't know, like, black silhouette that you see in the dark or something, and you're so scared of it, and it just comes closer to you, and it's like, yeah, well, I'm taking control of you now. It's basically like that. And so many people let fear be the in like be in control for ages, for so long. Don't freaking get me wrong that I never experience fear. I'm trying to sorry, I'm trying to work on certain things to get to a certain point where I want to be, way more resilient and things like this. And don't get me wrong, again, I experience fear too. There's so many different fears that you can have, even like a fear of losing somebody, a fear of failing, not reaching your goals or anything. But it's just like, what we have to do is just be present in the moment, refocus. If we're having anxiety or panic attack and it's caused by stress, we just have to refocus and be in the moment. Breathe out and breathe in 6 times to refresh that frontal part of our brain. I forgot how it's called, but it legit does that and legit calms you down, and, like, you refocus. And then just ask ourselves, okay, so what am I afraid of? What is this? And just dissect the problem to get to where we want to be. If it's like, oh, was this fear inflicted by somebody else? Has somebody said something to, start this up inside of us? Or is it that we have done this with, like, thinking about certain things, or, you know, feeling certain emotions or whatever it is, because it's really important for us to take control of ourselves and our life, It's, like, I totally get it. Like, the unknown is scary, and I've been trying to not I've been okay, let's rephrase this. I've been working on becoming better friends with the unknown for a while, and believing and working with the but okay, my brain is just like, what did I say before? Did I say a word that I didn't mean? But yeah, like working with, the unknown is just a big thing, because you're like, yeah, but I don't know how things are because the unknown exists everywhere, The unknown is legit everywhere. It could be like, you don't know how the future is going to be with somebody when you're together with them, or it could be like, oh, going after your dream and you don't know what's going to happen, and so on and so forth. And for example, that is a big step to become best friends with the unknown, to be like, you know what, the universe, take care of it. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna get your cues and follow your lead, but still, like, obviously do your work and work on your mindset and shit. But be more positive about things and be more positive about outcomes, And don't get me wrong, life still goes wrong. Shit still hits the fan. I can tell you that this is something that my life has been for the past, I don't know how many weeks, where, fear took over me, like, in so many ways, because, it's, for example, it's really hard to not worry about somebody else, or, not feel like discouraged, or, just be like, oh my God, what the fuck am I supposed to do right now with my life, or generally, But again, when fear just starts growing, and growing even more, turning into this huge freaking monster, it becomes a freaking problem. It's completely fine, as I've mentioned before in the previous podcast, it's completely fine to take a break, take it easy, refocus, restart and everything. Because, like, in the end, everything is gonna be okay and everything is gonna work out. I know it's so cliche and it just sounds so stupid to so many people, but it's completely fucking true. Because, like, for example, if you're like afraid of love and you're afraid of how it's gonna be because you have bad experience, you cannot because you had bad experience before, you cannot, like, throw everyone in the same basket. Obviously, like, don't get me wrong, I had the same experience where I was like, scared about how things are gonna go or whatever. But again, not everyone is the same. It's not the situation that things have to just keep repeating. I mean, if you're not learning a certain lesson and the universe is repeating the same lesson over and over for you, bitch, better, you better learn that lesson as soon as you can. You know what I mean? But, like, I totally get it. Like, love can be scary, but you just have to fall into it and just go with it. And then if it's not right, or if, n- somebody is not treating you right, you just go and let it be, Or if it's like, you're afraid to fail. My favorite quote that I'm gonna quote right now, and if I'm not, I don't know who it is by, to be quite honest, to give it credit to. So if anybody knows on the spot, or if you're Googling it right now, let me know. But my favorite quote is, or amongst a few, is feel your way to success. Because we keep falling and getting up and falling and getting up so many times in life. And if you're afraid to fail when it comes to your goals and dreams, or anything in this matter, like, you're never gonna get to where you want to. Because honestly, failing, or like, for example, making a mistake, which you could see as failure, is that doesn't mean that it ends all there, or your dreams end there. No, it does. It means absolute nothing. It means it's not saying something about you, like, oh, you're something less, or whatever it is. No, you just, get up, get on your knees first, and get up. Just sounded wrong, but yeah, get up and start walking again, and you fix your crown and you continue. And when you fall, you're like, okay, you take, like, how much time ever you need. Obviously, like, not many years, or like, just try not to prolong it too long, okay? But you take as much time as you need to recuperate, like, recoup, and, like, rethink situation, or even if it's like a cry for 30 minutes, or you're angry and you have to chill for 30 minutes, completely fine. And then you get up and then you continue, you know. Or if you have a fear of like, other people accepting you or anything like that, let me tell you, like, you have to accept yourself, and then everybody else will accept you. And anybody that doesn't accept you or is not treating you right, just delete, block, cut them off and continue, because the right people around you will accept you as you are, Please listen to me about this, because it's so fucking true. And yeah, there's so many things of like, oh, being afraid to take your you know driver's driving lessons or anything, for example. Or there's so many things, going to another country, you're afraid. But again, in so many situations, fear is holding us back. And it's like, oh, for example, you're afraid to go on a plane and then you'd never travel, or you refuse to travel in another way and then you just never travel because you're afraid, or, and also, don't get me wrong, I used to be afraid of planes or flying with planes, and then I've done it like I've done it like 2 times, I think, until now, or 3 times. Still a bit scary when the plane goes up, but that is good, that's all good. um but yeah, there are so many things. Or like, what could be another good example? It could be, I don't know, starting a business, for example. It's scary. I have like certain things that I'm working on right now, and don't fucking get me wrong. Like, fear is popping up like a motherfucking bitch, and I'm being like, oh my god, shut up. Like, because it's like, oh, it is good. What about this? How are you gonna figure out this? But you don't know. But this is how. But you're gonna have to do this, and it's like, fear. Just, besides like the ego, obviously talking, and using fear to just like stop you in the end, But you shouldn't let it. Like, the thing is that a lot of people say a lot of times is, feel the fear anyway. Again, I don't know who is this quote by. I'm so sorry. Feel the fear anyway. No, feel the fear and do it anyway. Or, or there was another quote that I just had in my head and it just slipped right away. But yeah, it's completely fine to feel the fear, but still go for things. Oh, yeah. So basically, a lot of people say that, when you fear something so much, like, oh, going after a goal or a dream, or something, starting your own business, or, when you feel so much fear in that moment, that's the moment when you should go after. It's like a huge sign, like a huge fucking exclamation point, being like, bitch, go. It's like, oh, if you're really fucking afraid of your dreams or your goals, oh, that is such a good sign. So take it as it is, as with your situation and things. Obviously, um not being treated the right way in your life, or people not supporting you, a lot of things, just go with it, and make sure that you're surrounded by the right people that are not fear mongering you all the time, or being negative and things like this, because then it just doesn't help with like not having anxiety and panic attacks, and just being that fear all the time. It just doesn't help with it at all. It's difficult, because it's like, we can be our worst enemy anyway in the first place, and then it's hard to not fear things, or have like certain thoughts and be like, oh yeah, this is making me so scared, and then people are just adding to it, and it's just not a fucking great time, you know what I mean? So it's just like, wow, I don't know if that was picked up, but that was my PC. Thanks, Logitech. But yeah, I can't believe it, how big fear is in our lives, and how much it controls us and makes us almost like, it paralyzes us in so many freaking ways. And then we're not moving, doing things, we're not making progress because of it, or evolving or growing as people, as a person. because with like, things going wrong and failing, best believe that that's when we grow and evolve, not like when things are always the best and it's all like, I don't know, unicorns and rainbows and sunshine and whatever. No, when shit hits the fan, or when we have to figure things out, or when then things get scary, or when we don't know and we're scared of the unknown, this is when shit really evolves. It's when we level up, and grow, and change and everything. And again, also, oh my God, this is a big thing that I just realized. A lot of people fear, guess what? Change. This is huge. Wow, the universe just like gave me this download real quick. So I don't, I remember it in time before and the podcast and things. But yeah, like we as people, that's such a huge thing. We fear change. It's like, why? Because it's like it's different, it's not the same anymore. People change, people grow, people evolve. Or change is like, oh, we have to move. Or you're like moving out and you're moving into your new place, and it's a change and it's scary, and it's new. And our body and our ego just loves to stay in a bubble, and for us to stay in a bubble. That's why it tries to keep us back, especially with change, because it's like, oh, I have to do this to get this, again, a change. I have to do this and this to get, and then change. Or bigger changes, like for example, I am experiencing a enormous change right now in my life, in a positive and good way. But let me tell you, it's fucking scary. It is fucking scary. But what I'm telling myself is, like, especially with how things have been for the past few weeks, like just to use me as an example, I realized, oh wow, shit is really hitting up like the fan. I'm right about a huge fucking breakthrough. Like, if it's really just, when the things shit, like shit, when things hit the fan like so fucking much, you realize, wow, good things are around the corner, because they are, but you're afraid. You're like, oh wow, it's just keeps going, and you're like, oh my God, is this never gonna end? Another change and another fear, you know I mean, those are just like tiny changes, I guess, one after another. But yeah, we fear change so freaking much, especially in other people. Or if, I don't know, that's just, this is just a random example. But like, for example, you are married to somebody and they change jobs, and then for example, they go from being really miserable at their job to changing their job, and then they become so happy. A lot of people, it's like it's weird for them to deal with the change, because maybe they're like unhappy in their own job, and then it's like, oh, we're not on the same level. Do you know what I mean? There are so many different facets of change that we avoid, because it's such a taboo thing. It's like, oh my God, change. No, like, so many people don't like it. Like, barely anybody does. But honestly, I'm trying to embrace change all the time and see the unknown as a good thing, and change as a good thing. And I know moments like this where it's really a mother freaking hard, and I try to see it as a big breakthrough, because usually as it is like this, because there has to be ups and downs in our lives for us to enjoy the good parts. Imagine it was just always great. Maybe it could have, maybe we would all be okay with it, but God knows, you know what I mean? It would have been boring. We would not, we would not grow and evolve and level up and change and shit like that. So it's like fear and change and other things that keeps molding us on, like, into who we are today. But again, we shouldn't let fear take over us, take over our lives and goals and dreams, our relationships and everything. For example, fear in relationships is such a fucking huge thing, because it pushes us to do things, to say things, to react in a certain way, to not say things because we're afraid to ask. For example, if you're in, like, the stages of getting to know somebody, and you just don't want to ask them if they like, you're like, oh no, dude, they do. But then in the end, they waste your time, and you they just weren't clear on things to begin with, which I mean, they fucking suck. Like, fuck them. But it's like, there's so many things we don't ask our partner certain things, like, oh, whatever. I don't know. I don't know an example right now on top of my head, but there's so many things that we don't even say or do because of fear, or even like on top of fear, just ego adds up as, like, not ego as the inner voice, but like our ego being like, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that, which happens a lot in a lot of situations. It's just so many combinations of things. But again, in the end, when we come to that point of like what I was talking on the beginning, that fear is legit making us dumb. Legit fucking making us dumb. It's not giving us any progress. It's not pushing us any further. I mean, it can if we use it in that way, but generally no, it's not pushing us. It's not making us evolve, because a lot of us are just, staying in this bubble or not moving. A lot of people just don't move in that situation, and it's just like, yeah, nothing. It's just like a cocoon, or however you say it, and you're just like, you're in this bubble and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna move because I'm so afraid. But that's the moment when we should take the leap of faith. Oh my god, computer. I don't know. Oh, I think it didn't capture that. But take the leap of faith, like that tarot card, like the fool, where he's like just almost leaping over a cliff, almost falling down, being like, you know what, I'm going after it. I'm going after whatever I am. I don't give a fuck. We should be like that and just kick fear in the balls and just be like, you know what, I don't give a fuck. You're telling me that this is gonna destroy my life, then let it fucking destroy my life. I mean, be mindful of the words you use and of the way you speak to yourself, and of the thoughts you have. Like, we don't want to manifest, worse shit and more shit or more problems, but you know what I mean? It's just like, kick fear in the balls and just be like, bring it fucking on. And, if your ego or your inner voice, if it's just like getting louder and louder, it's like, oh my god, if you get into this relationship, it's gonna be like before, and then you just look your fucking ego in the eye and just be like, fuck off and shut the fuck up, because it's not. And then if it's like you want to start a business and you're afraid that you're gonna fail, or that you're not gonna make any sales, or things are not gonna go well, just be like, you know what, I'm gonna keep on going until I do. You know what, fuck you, fear. Or it could be like, finding a new job, and your ego is telling you, or your inner voice in that sense is telling you, oh my god, you're never gonna find a job, you're such a loser, and just fucking tell it to shut the fuck up and be like, you know what? I'm on the ground right now. It sucks. Don't fucking get me wrong, but I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna slay like a mother effing bitch. I'm gonna show the world. First of all, show yourself. Don't do things for everyone else. Do it for yourself first, and then just be like, you know what, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna find this job or change this job, or fucking leave your toxic job, whatever it is, and just kick again fear in the balls and take mother freaking control over your life, and show the universe who you are and what you want and what what your wishes are, and just be like, you know what, this is my wish. Fear can go suck it hard on a freaking cactus. But universe, let's collab. Let's do this. I wanna motherfucking manifest the best life ever. Even though it's gonna get hard, I will have to evolve or do things that I don't want to. But I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna be like that horse that doesn't see left or right while being on the race, and just see my way forward, like a car driving during the night, just having lights on, just seeing a few meters in front of you, and just keep going like this, like a horse, just seeing everything in front of you, your goals, your vision, everything in front of you, and just focusing that and keep going, because you are in control of your life. You are in control of your emotions, your thoughts, and everything, your decisions. You're in control of how you're gonna do things in life and how your life is gonna be, and how your love life is going to be, or your goal or dream situation. Like, it's in your hands to get there. So don't let fear stop you in any shape or form, because you will regret it. And regret, again, I've mentioned it way before, but regret is way worse than anything in this life. I swear, way worse than fear and failing, or making a mistake, or making a mistake and then going left and right, but still going for your dream and just still walking forward, like one step at a time, one day at a time. Don't go towards regret, because then it's just gonna be really freaking bad. you know but just take my advice again. Kick the freaking, the fucking shit out of fear. Show it your mother freaking middle finger and be like, fuck you, and I'm gonna do it anyway. And this is where we're gonna end this episode for today. I hope you really all enjoyed it. I hope you all have an amazing day, morning, night, wherever you are. And yeah, I wish everyone an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Love you all. Bye.